Hello and welcome to Ula Tea Leaf Readings. My name is Lenor, and tonight I'm going to be reading your tea leaves. This is a horoscope for Virgo. If Virgo is your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising sign, then this is a message for you. Okay, let's get started. Okay, let's check this out and see what we have going on, Virgo. Okay. All right, and so today we are working with the Knight of Cups card. And this is from the Thoth deck, one of my favorite cards. I love the blues, I love the greens. I know I say the cards are my favorite often, but I love the imagery of the peacock, of the Cancer and the Grail, and just all about this emotional maturity, the ability to, just put a great wealth of those emotional waters into creating art, music, writing, getting really good at managing the different spheres of your life so that they flow into one another more evenly, more balanced. And when you come up against things that come in like a tornado or something, then you have the wherewithal, you have the tools to figure out how to navigate through that. And this is what that card is for me. It's very much for me in my own personal experience, my own personal beliefs, very akin to the beloved. Okay, so I want to look at these these symbols we have here. We have one rabbit here. Okay, his ear is very phallic, and we'll talk about that in just a minute. But we have one rabbit here, and then we have a little rabbit up here. Okay, and I feel like, not judging, Virgo, and also I am a solar Virgo, so keep in mind, if this is your first time watching, I try to always be put as much thought and enthusiasm into every sign, but Virgo, you are my people, so I have a special place in my heart for my fellow solar, lunar, whatever placement you're watching for Virgo. Okay, so I feel that we have some kind of emotional, physical temptation arising in our lives right now, okay? Something that is not necessarily connected to our usual relationships. If you are married, if you are in a involved situation, maybe you are dating, it doesn't really matter, but I think that there's some kind of temptation happening here. It does not have to be romantic, it doesn't have to be sexual. This could also be a friendship. We've all had those situations where somebody who is, new and exciting and a fast friend, really wants to be involved in all those aspects of our lives, and we want them there too. But we already have like a BFF, or we already have like our life kind of set up in such a way that it takes away from our normal mode of operation, right? And it can be like a whirlwind. Okay, so I do, however, mostly going to read this as being kind of maybe more of a romantic thing because we have these fertility symbols. Okay, and then we also have what looks like a cat kind of crawling on the back of this rabbit. Okay, so I just wonder if you know, this person has come into your life, and I don't think that they are seeking you out necessarily. I don't think that this is any kind of nefarious thing where they're trying to, you know, get in the middle of something. But I think that, you know, whatever's going on in your life, you're feeling like you want a little attention, maybe a little more attention than you are getting. And this person is giving you some attention. I do also feel like there's an element of attraction. It doesn't have to necessarily be physical. It could be emotional, mental, that crosses over into the physical. This rabbit is definitely in this physical space. We also have this kind of very attentive phallic symbol in the ear. So I think there's some kind of energy, maybe even mentions of this a little bit, maybe innuendos. I think ultimately though, listen, I really feel like this is a fickle person. I feel like you are kind of fickle as well, probably. And if you don't know what that means, it just means indecisive, right? You don't stick to one thing for too long, especially when it comes to something that is a little bit risky. There's no foundation laid. You know, I think that really this is going to be a very unstable match, okay? I think there's some amount of desire there for sure. But I think that this is more about a desire of wanting to be loved, wanting to love, wanting to be seen, wanting to be heard, wanting to be doted over, you know, wanting to be somebody's priority, right? And I don't think, you know, in this situation at least, and listen, I'm not a judge of anything as far as, you know, casual encounters, dating, you know, fleeting kinds of relationships, emotional kind of interactions, you know, whatever it is. If you are a single person, if you are in an open relationship, if you are in a monogamous relationship, it's none of my business really. And I don't judge, you know, we all are out here trying to survive, right? Trying to get through our days. Okay. So, I'm not judging, but I do think that sometimes we know better when we're getting into something that is too good to be true, or you just, you know, the pay-in is too much. It's just too much, and it's going to be a lot of fallout. It's going to be a lot of grief, okay? I also see we have this heart. It's empty. There's a heart here, right? Not filled up. I think that this is just empty promises. I feel like it could get really intense, but it's going to burn out real quick. I think that, you know, this is the kind of thing where it devours you, not in a fun way, right? So just be careful, okay? And this cat up here looks not happy. This is like trying to put my big hairy cat into the bath. You know, he's very sweet. He's very cuddly. He is a sweet boy. But the moment you get him into the water or near the water or a hint of water, he is gonna turn on you, okay? So just be careful. Just be careful. And, you know, with the little rabbit up here too, if you do go forward with any of this and you are not looking to, you know, have a family together, be careful, be mindful of that as well, because this seems like a very potent situation. Not a lot of longevity, but, you know, at least in the love match way. Okay. So just things to think about, things to keep in mind going forward. Okay. So let's see what we have over here. And I think that, you know, what I'm thinking about, as especially with the card, the Knight of Cups, I really do believe that the beloved, this kind of cosmic love, this agape, this love with the divine, this kind of interior spouse, this person that comes to you in dreams and in spiritual work, is just right there, so close. And I feel like sometimes when this happens, it pours over into your want to connect with others, because it's hard to not have that love manifest in your life where you can just grab onto it. Okay. I do think that now, and this is kind of more of the, you know, esoteric part of me, the practitioner of magic and such. The way that we get close to this beloved is through expressions of devotion to our work, our self-work, our magical practices, our healing ourselves, doing the therapies, doing the growing, exploring, you know, trying to work on those generational cycles of whatever has gone on in your families and this kind of thing. This is how we honor that beloved. This is how we show our devotion to that love. This is how we manifest that love in our life. And so I think that, you know, you are a person that, and we'll look at this right here. We have this, don't lick my ear, silly. Don't do that. We have this dragon here. You are a person like myself, like a lot of people, like most people. You have some rage in you. You have some anger in you. You have some, you know, just moments where you can't stand just even a moment more of this chaos that's in your life. And it doesn't necessarily have to be big things. It could just be, you know, traffic, time management, trying to have, you know, everybody on time in the family, or people at work, you know, just not doing what they say they're going to in a timely manner, whatever it is. Stuff that is ultimately, in the grand scheme of things, not that big of a deal. But it feels so big when it's happening. It feels so crazy when it's happening, right? But sometimes you just want to scream. And, you know, shout out to Primal Screaming. If you've heard some of my other readings, I do bring it up fairly often. Go outside and scream. Just scream. Let it out of you from from the core of your being. You just scream out some of that frustration. I promise you it will work. You might seem like you're losing it. I'm sure the neighbors will be like, okay, there goes so-and-so out there screaming at the sky again. That's okay. That's okay. Just get it out, get it out, get it out. And if you have to do some crying too, just cry. Cry it out, scream it out. It helps, it helps, it helps. But I think that you have been working on this anger stuff. You've been working on this getting impatient, getting really kind of snippy and testy and just, you know, huffy and all the things that we Virgos get when the system isn't running as efficiently as we planned it to. And I think that, you know, this is part of that real devotion to that beloved thing within you, that relationship you have with those higher parts of existence. And I don't know about you, but like for me, becoming a mom, before I was a parent, I was like, oh yeah, I'm not angry about anything. I'm cool. Everything's cool all the time. I'm over so much stuff. I've been to therapy and I'm in recovery and, you know, it's all good. Well, I lived alone for years, you know, and then I met my husband, and then we, you know, dated for a couple years, and then, you know, we moved in and we had a kid really soon after that. So all this stuff happened pretty quickly, and I realized I'm not chill. I am not. I have not worked out a lot of stuff. I can get pretty, you know, like hurt, emotional, angry, and nothing's wrong with those things, of course. It's just really, 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 really about how we deal with those feelings. How do we let it out? You know, how do we make use of that stuff? And we can make use of that anger, for sure. I think it can be very healing to pour that stuff out, you know, in your art, in your writing. You know, another one I like to say is go out and do some like demo. Go chop some wood. Do some like intentional movement, right? And that can be very, very productive, very useful. And so, let's see, what else do we have here? I want to look. I could go on and on about this stuff all night. So we have, it's interesting, we have what looks like my cat that was just here a minute ago, but it looks like a cat that's kind of stretched out, kind of, you know, when they wake up and they kind of stretch their backs down into a deep, deep dip, and they, you know, just kind of shake off that nap they just had. Well, I feel like you are in that beautiful deep stretch within your spiritual life that really, my goodness, like so gratifying. I think that, like we talked about, you have this kind of temptation thing happening, okay? You're gonna do what you're gonna do with that, right? But I think that when you put some of that lust, that desire, that want, put that into some of that spiritual work you're doing, okay? Go and make some kind of altar, you know? Go and work on creating something special that is devoted to that feeling. It doesn't have to be to that person or any person, or deity or intelligence or, you know, anything. It doesn't have to be for anything. It doesn't have to be for you, but just that feeling that you have, that tension that you have in your body. Think about that, okay? And go and make something devoted to it. It doesn't have to be anything big. You could paint a rock. You could, you know, cook a feast. Some kind of, you know, some indulgent, delectable, rich, and, you know, just beautifully buttery and creamy and sweet and salty and all the things. You know, you could plant some plants, really beautiful, some roses, something sumptuous, but find something to honor that feeling, you know, and that, I think that's fun. I think it's fun to do things like that. I don't know. I think that when we get creative, trying to be quiet when I sip the tea because I know people don't like that, and I'm sorry. Sometimes I have to drink something. When we do something fun and creative with these kind of, I mean, they're not really abstract emotions, but, or feeling sensations, impulses, but when we break these things down from like the whole arc of like, oh, this hot person at work, and you know, we're flirt texting or whatever, and, you know, I'm gonna do this, I'm gonna hook up with him. That's a big arc, right? I mean, it doesn't have to be long, but it's like a big, that's like a bunch of series of things. Well, sometimes when we just take the whole thing and we distill it down to those like subtle essences, and then we focus on that instead of all this other clutter and complexity and all these variables and stuff. Oh, it's so potent. And you can do a lot with that. Make it useful to your life, to your greater work, you know, instead of just something. You know, and especially if you are involved, right? You know, and again, no shaming, but it gets complicated when you're stepping out on somebody. It gets complicated when you put that emotional effort into somebody who's not your partner. You know, unless you're in a situation where, you know, that's the part of it or whatever. You're open or poly or whatever. I mean, there's so many different configurations. I don't even know what all of them are. But, you know, you have a framework kind of set up to do, to support these kinds of endeavors, right? If you don't, though, you know, the fallout could be terrible for something so brief. Okay, that's all I'm trying to get to. So it's interesting to take these kinds of feelings and kind of just, you know, reduce them down to something, distill them down to something really, really potent, really yummy, and make something gorgeous with them. Okay, so let's see what we have going on here. I feel like there's some kind of communication going on. It looks like it's within your family, though. This is a separate issue. This is something else. Some kind of communication going on. I feel like you're working on setting something up. A lot of talking going on, trying to kind of, I feel like, get on the same schedule, get in the same, like, frame of thinking. What comes to mind is like maybe some kind of visit, but also I feel like it could be something like trying to make decisions for somebody in your family, maybe somebody that's older, that is having trouble taking care of themselves, and planning going on between family members. I feel like this is stressful, and I think this might be part of the catalyst for why these other things are coming up. I feel almost like the other things might be low-key, a little bit of a coping mechanism, but you know, I don't think that that's necessarily a bad thing. Those emotional waters involved in the other thing can become very intoxicating, right? So my advice with that, stick close to the shoreline, because you also have other important things happening. And I see kind of where this like instinct to balance is coming from. Okay, but just don't get reckless. That's really the biggest thing here. You know, other than that, I think that, you know, this, I hate to be so stereotypical, but it's part of the seasons too. And I've brought this up in other readings, I know, but you know, there's some truth to this idea that we go into these warmer months, or go transitioning into the colder, when you are either coupling or decoupling, or, you know, just have like this, I think it's just really the natural rhythms of our lives where we just become more interested in, you know, sensual things, romantic things, traveling together, going to do fun things together, breaking up those monotonous routines, that kind of thing. So, you know, maybe trying to do something like that would also be helpful, especially if you are, you know, in the weeds with the family stuff. You know, if it's taking care of somebody older in your family, if you are taking care of children, even if they're like adult children, or your grandchildren, or your own children. I mean, my goodness. Sometimes we all just need a break from the everyday. So maybe being able to find some way to do something that is a little bit outside of that normal stuff. Okay. All right. I want to thank you so much for spending this time with me. I am always so honored to bring these messages to you. It truly, it just really, it really blows my mind that I am allowed to do this. Like, I really just, I enjoy it so much. You know, it's funny, like when you find something in life that you look forward to doing, and people are somewhat receptive to it, and I am so thankful for the connections that I have made with people, even in this brief amount of time that I've been doing this on YouTube. It just is so wonderful. It's such a blessing, and you know, I can't say how much how thankful I am. And I was reflecting on this too, because we hit 8,000 subscribers today, and I feel like we just hit 7,000, so like a week ago. So you know, it's going fast, at least right now. So I thank each and every one of you. If you would be so kind as to like the video, it helps us get into the algorithm, and I think that you guys are doing that's because we're getting to more people and we're growing our community here together. If you haven't subscribed, think about doing that as well. You know, I want you to know when the next videos are coming out. If you hit that little bell, it will let you know. I don't want you to miss anything, and especially if you're watching your other placements, we do, I read for each sign once a week, so you can watch your solar, lunar, ascendant / rising, your cross watching, your Venus, your, you know, whatever, you know, is your fancy. And other than that, leaving a comment. I love hearing from each of you. Every comment means so much to me. I read them all. I try to get back to them in a timely manner. Sometimes really quick, sometimes it takes a little while. But it's been so busy with my toddler and my, you know, just the housework and the gardening is just, this time of year is busy, busy, busy for all of us, right? So anyways, I want to thank you so much. I hope you all are doing well. We will talk again in a few days. Thank you, thank you, thank you, Virgo.